Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Feed Your Mind podcast. Today, we're going to have a special guest. He's coming in here, and I'm going to introduce you guys to him right now. He's a co-founder of recently launched software product called FlowChat, and I've recently been using it for the last 6 months, and I'm super excited to show you guys today what it's all about. But he is a serial entrepreneur. He owned 5 different businesses that have been doing 7 figures, and he has closed personally in his personal career $130 million in sales. He worked directly with Russell Brunson for the last few years in his inner circle, and he has been also awarded a 2 award, which is awesome. And his team currently coaches thousands of entrepreneurs in the lost of art prospecting and high-ticket sales. So let me bring him up. His name is Sean Malone. Welcome. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we need like a little audio. We need a little audio thing. It's like a clapping or something.
Yeah.
I do have something.
Watch this.
That's perfect. Oh, I love that, man. Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me on your show. Man, I'm such a big fan of you and what you do and the movement that you've built and a lot of cool things that you're doing. So thanks very much for having me today.
No, this is amazing because I know there's people can learn. The reason I called my podcast Feed Your Mind is because we always constantly get to learn. And there's so many people that are entrepreneurs and they want to learn something. But even it's just someone coming in here with your experience and sharing your story. And that's where I really want to start out is just maybe who is Sean Malone? Like to get started, like why should we have Sean here? Who is this guy? Awesome. I've known you for over 5 years now, and you've done so many amazing things, and it's just getting started, basically.
Yeah. Thank you. So who am I? Who's Sean? Well, Sean's a sales guy. He's definitely a husband. I love my wife more than anything on the planet. She's the one that, behind every good man, there's a great woman kind of a thing. So I'm grateful for her. I am a career sales pro. I started my career just almost 3 decades ago. I came out of college and I only had one question on my mind, Rafal. And that question was, how do I make a boatload of money? Like, that's what I wanted to do. Right? Are you the same boat? Right? You heard that same question, right?
Most of the people wanted to, it's just, but where do you start?
Yeah, that's totally it. Right. So I went to the only person that I knew was making a lot of money. It was my dad at the time. He had a little cookware import-export business where he was bringing product in from multiple places on the other side of the globe, and then he'd distribute them in America. It was pretty interesting. And I asked him, I said, Dad, how do I make a boatload of money? And he goes, Sean, you got 3 choices. I was like, oh, good. I have a choice. This is easy. What are my choices? He goes, number 1, are you a CEO? And I go, I'm 21 at the time, just came out of college, like full of testosterone. I'm like, I want to say yes, but I don't even know what those letters mean. It's like, no, I'm not the CEO thing, whatever that is. Of course, now I know what that means. Second thing, and he goes, okay, number 2, are you an entertainer? And I thought to myself for a second, and I said, oh man, well, I can't sing or dance real good, so I'm not an entertainer, so that's out too. And he goes, okay, number 3. I was like, great. He said, you got to go learn sales. And I thought to myself, like, okay, cool. I can go and learn some sales. Let's do that. So I went and I looked around. I was in my marketing club and I was looking for a sales job. Like, actually, I was one of those guys that said, hey, I want a sales job. Like, let's go figure one out right from the start. And I took this job selling commodities. So I would sell aluminum extrusions, sheet metal, electronics, plastic parts, windows and door hardware, and very, very high echelon of sales. Commission only, so there's no base or nothing like that. And I got into this thing and I was like, cool, I'm going to crush it. Because everyone had told me, Sean, you're pretty good at talking. You can probably be a great sales guy. Just go talk to a bunch of people. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I started doing this. What do I do? Mr. Boss Man, his name was Tim. I said, Tim, what do I do? He says, Sean, here's a book. He gave me this huge book of all these manufacturers in the local area. And he goes, call these people and go meet with them. I was like, okay, that's my task. I'm going to go do the thing. So I opened the book and I started dialing and I got no, rejection. I'd hit a gatekeeper, rejection. I did that for 6 weeks every day, and I did 80 cold calls a day. And by the end of 6 weeks, I had done a total of 2,400 calls, and I never booked a single appointment.
What kept you going for 6 weeks?
I sucked at it. What kept me going? was that my dad was like, go learn sales. And so I was just like, thought, well, if I keep banging my head against the wall hard enough for a long enough period of time, I'll probably break through. That's what I thought. Cause like growing up, you know, it's always don't quit, become the captain of the team kind of a thing. Like you start at the bottom and work your way to the top. So I got to this place where I was really ready to just throw in the white towel. I had a really bad day. Again, no book calls. My boss is coming by the office, like angry at me. And I was like a weekend. I go home and I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, I hate the sales thing. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. What should I do? And he said, well, don't quit yet. He said, go to the library and read a book. I was like, oh, perfect. Let's go do that. So I went to the library and this is the exact book I got, right? You can see how twisted and torn it is. I bought a Tom Hopkins How to Master the Art of Selling Stuff book. And love Tom Hopkins, know him personally. I've had lunch with him. Wonderful person. One of the greatest sales trainers on earth, I believe. And I was reading this book. I opened it and I was like, oh my God, there's a formula. And I got so excited because I was like, I did pretty okay in school and I can apply a formula to the sales thing. So I take the book back and I'm like reading it. And I got to the chapter 7 and I read this little thing. I was like, that's it. I can set an appointment with that. I'm going to try that. And so I took the book and I went back to my house. Monday, I show up. I open my manufacturer's book, make my first dial, and I get to the place where I'm supposed to deploy this little line, and I froze. Neck hairs stand up, sweat beads start coming down, and I'm like, and I tried to say the line, and I completely messed it up. But the other guy on the other end was really cool. He said, Sean, I know what you're trying to do. Just come on over on Tuesday, and let's chat. And I was like, great, sounds good. And I got off the phone as quick as I could, and I was like, yeah! I was so excited. I started jumping around because I was never set an appointment before. It was my first one. And then the flood of released emotion of frustration and anger just came through my body. And I was like, I love this feeling and I want to chase it forever. And that moment in my life really tuned my career to the vocation of communication with a single goal of how do I become one of the top 5 communicators on the planet. And so through the art of high ticket sales and the lost art of prospecting. And so I said, those are my vehicles. This is my vocation. This is what I want to do for the rest of my time. And it happened because I had so much frustration. And so for all of you guys that are listening out that haven't maybe broken through with the success that you're going to have in your lifetime, just know that you got to keep pushing, just keep pushing, keep going. Don't stop. You'll get there, right? It's always about the journey is what they say. It's a true statement. Okay. So I started setting appointments and then I was like in these sales conversations and I sucked at that too. Right? Is all this making sense, by the way, Rafal?
No, this is awesome. Like, if you guys are listening, guys, put it in the chat if you guys getting value. But just hearing the story, like I heard this story a few times. I mean, I've been friends with Sean for a long time, and I've seen his journey. I've learned so much. I look up to him as my mentor because there's so many different things that I have already learned, and it's amazing how you can just listen in. And like you said, exact same thing. It's like I started up, like I heard people hanging up on someone because they're just so afraid. And I'm like, you're making like millions a month almost, like how you hang up? You got to start somewhere. And I think that's one of the biggest things. So
yeah. And that's it, right? I mean, like everyone starts somewhere. Like Garrett White, one of my mentors, he said to me first, he says like, Sean, you gonna start anything. At first you're going to suck and then you're going to suck less. And then you're going to suck so little, you actually become good. And that's the process with anything and everything that I've ever personally experienced in my life. And I've seen lots and lots of people go through that same journey. So I'm getting these sales calls and I had no way to sell. I didn't know there was even a thing called a selling system. In fact, I was stuck on what you call the prospect sales system, where they lie to you, they hide from you, they steal your information and then run away. And it's just like a messy, messy thing. And so I get into sales conversations and I did a couple of them and I was like, this is stupid. Maybe there's a formula like the one that I got for the prospecting side of things that was working for me. Let's look. Oh my gosh, I found 40 different selling systems. I purchased all of them. I went as deep as I could in all of them. I looked at all of the core elements, all the things that all of them kind of had in common. I thought through my industry and what looked like for me. And I distilled it down to 7 steps. I was like, if I can follow these 7 things each time I do a sales conversation, I'll probably close a lot of deals, is what I thought to myself. And what happened? I started closing a lot of deals, right? I took a company from my first success, right? I was just manufacturer's rep. I went to a semiconductor manufacturer. These are the people that put the electronics behind all the screens and televisions, all this, like, the big cables and everything else. So I went to this manufacturer and I was selling for them. And I was able to turn their $3 million operation into a $37 million operation in like 9 months because of these two little systems. And I made a bunch of commission and I was like, okay, I want my own business, right? Because I saw these guys that were running this business. They were like 30-some-year-old kids and I'm this like 22-year-old guy. And I seen how they were just banking, like crushing it, right? And I was like, I want my own business. So I ended up cashing in all the stuff that I had done to that point, and I bought my own electronics company, moved to Las Vegas, where I live now, and I put those same little systems in a business that was a little smaller. It's $250K a year in revenue, and over the course of a couple of years, I drove it into the $8 million a year revenue range, and then the wheels fell out from underneath me. What that business was, we were building circuit boards for government contracts like Lockheed Martin's, Raytheon's, Boeing's. Those were my clients. So I was meeting with them all the time. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I went down to work with this L3 Communications Lockheed division in California. And I'm sitting in this boardroom of all these really brilliant engineers. And we're designing a cryogenic laser guidance system. How cool is that to even say? And I'm sitting in this room with these really wickedly smart people. And I get a call from my partner at my facility in Vegas. He's like, emergency, come home. I was like, great. Oh my God, what's happening? This is terrible. So ended the meeting, drove back to the Vegas. I walk into the office. Nothing's wrong. I'm like, what's going on? And there's a suit walking around. I hate suits, PS, so I don't wear one. And I was like, what's going on? So my business partner called me in his office and he said, Sean, while you were gone, and this was a week. I was only gone for like a week. He said, while you were gone, I sold the company to this guy. And I was like, wow. Why did you sell a company that I own 47% of? I'm sorry, but that's like kind of messed up. Yeah. Those were the nice words. I had a lot more choice words came out of my mouth at that time, right? And lo and behold, I lost this thing that I had built put all my eggs into, and it just really deflated me. And it pushed me into a very dark corner in Las Vegas. And of course, if you have any habits here, this town will eat you up. And so I started drinking heavily. I started just going out and partying all the time. And luckily in that phase of my life, I ran into my now wife, Melissa. She was that lightning bolt or that rock that I could just hug onto. And she pulled me out and she said, stop the drinking, go do something. I was like, okay, cool. So I went and I took a job selling roofing material because I didn't know what I wanted to sell, but I knew I wanted to sell something, put my systems in there, and I broke all of their sales records in the first like 18 months. Next couple of years I worked with them. Everyone was like, oh my God, I got up on stage. I won these awards. It was crazy. And I was just like, because I have these systems, like selling systems. That was the key. And then I realized I hated roofers. No offense, they're not my people. And so I ended up saying, no, thank you. I'm done. And then I'm like, what am I going to do? And right about that time, Melissa had seen a Facebook ad. I didn't know marketing at all, but I knew that there was this little kid walking across the beach making a bunch of money. And he was like, hey, I just made all this money online. Like, come look how I did it. And we ended up going very deep down this rabbit hole. We invested over 10 grand with the guy. We learned a little bit about marketing. And here's what I thought. I don't know marketing. I know sales. If this marketing thing that they're talking about can bring eyeballs my way, I can probably convert them, is what I thought. Well, that process worked so well. Me and Chris, my business partner now, we started being partners about 6 years ago. We ended up building a mega network marketing business where we had 500,000 people following us around on a day-to-day basis. And we were just running the game. And all these, because the marketing system brought eyeballs, the selling systems and things that I had in place closed the eyeballs into a product sale. And next thing you know, now we have this huge big tribe. And all these people came back to us and they're like, Sean, your software sucks. Now, this is the marketing software that had nothing to do with. I'm like, it's not our software. Yep. And they said, I don't care, fix it. So we're like, okay, so let's go build a software company. You've never done that before. So we ended up building a software company. It's what we got that award for. It's called Digital Genius Lab. We did $1 million in our first 10 months. And on the back end, we were selling a $10,500 product. We sold over $12 million in our first year with that software company. Now, imagine my seat just for a second. If you're in my shoes, you're a little micro influencer having 500,000 people following you around, yelling at you all day, very noisy and loud. And I'm the CEO of a software enterprise. And I'm like, this is a lot because that was a full-time job. This was a full-time job. And now I only had 24 hours in a day. So what happens to Sean? Completely burned out. Completely burned out. Started working 20 some hours a day for years on end. Got to a point where we were going to a mastermind with Russell Brunson. I saw a tree and I thought, dude, it's done. I can't do it anymore. I'm just going to drive into the tree.
Wow.
And of course, I stopped the road and I was really like, my wife was with me and like we had a conversation and she's like, we got to do something different. And then Russell at the time was like, sell your company. That was his advice. Kill your baby, he says. Wow. Like, how do you kill a company? How do you kill a software company that's printing money? He goes, I don't know, but do it because it's killing your soul even harder. And I was like, oh, good point. Thank you, Russell. Like do as Russell says kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it took us a year. We sold the software company, thank goodness. And then we're like, what do we do? And Russell said, well, what are you good at? And we said, sales. And he said, guess what? All these online entrepreneurs kind of suck at sales. You should go help them. It's like, sweet. So then we started talking to entrepreneurs and we're like, do you hate sales? Yeah, Sean, I never want to sell. I don't want to do any of this. Okay, cool. Here's how to hire, onboard, and train sales teams. We started putting all these sales teams in these businesses. It was the birth of our high ticket sales agency and started solving the revenue problem. And then they came back like a little while later after the teams and said, Sean, thank you so much. I don't have to sell anymore. But now I don't have a way to consistently fill their calendars with business. And I can't sleep at night because of that. And I was like, I talked to Chris. We looked at each other and we're like, we have a software, or we have a system for that. And we took this system and we threw it in front of all of our high ticket client businesses, and every one of them, 100% of them just went off the planet. And all of a sudden we're like, whoa, that's the bigger problem than anything we've solved for anybody so far. We need to deliver this to more people. So then we started a small mastermind session where we were bringing in about a dozen businesses at a time. We ran this mastermind thing. It was very high ticket. And we were just teaching that little system, the prospecting system we talked about. And all these businesses were having mega success. But then we were looking at it from a bird's eye view, and it was being done off a spreadsheet and a piece of paper. And it was so archaic, right? It was sell by chat, right?
That was still work. It still worked for all the clients, even though it was like just spreadsheet. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's give some examples. There's somebody that was coaching other gym owners. She was doing about 30 grand a month. We deployed the system, and within less than 3 months, she tripled her revenue to $90-some thousand a month, consistently banging it now. We went into a video marketing agency. She was doing 40K a month, had some debt. In her first 2 weeks, we were able to close over $100,000 with her.
Wow,
yeah, dude. And then now her business is cranking $250,000 a month.
Wow.
Right. Crazy results. Let's talk about an even bigger one. Real estate coaching through video marketing. We went into their space in the real estate game, and they were doing about $430,000 a month. Okay. Big number. And it's like over $4 million a year kind of thing. And we put our systems in there, and within 4 months, they hit $700,000 a month. Now they're doing $2 million a month. Like massive results.
$2 million a month. That's incredible.
So huge growth with all of our clients. And we're teaching this off a spreadsheet and a piece of paper. Crazy. Simple works. So Chris and I were like, we need a software tool. And the birth of FlowChat came to be, right? And that's now what we really stay 100% focused on, because we know it can get results in any industry. In fact, just recently we had a girl who had a dog walking business. She came up to me.
Oh, yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, Sean, I need more clients for my dog walking business. I was like, get yourself this software, and this is how we're going to use it. In her first week, she booked 5 appointments. She closed 2 consistently retained clients, walking dogs weekly. Now she has such a big, so she closed her first 2 clients in her first week like crazy. And then now she has more people that walk dogs for her, and she's just the admin, and her dog walking empire has now become a thing, right?
Can you imagine, like, just literally, like, from the guy that makes $2 million a month to a dog walker that can leverage this? That's the thing, like, it's systems. And I always loved systems. That's what I focus to, is system automations. That's one of my specialties, and I love this. But yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah. So, and then, I mean, like, so the whole spectrum, and that was really the secret is, we know that there's 5 functions of any business. There's lead generation, there's lead nurture, there's conversion, then there's delivery and fulfillment, and then there's retention and resell. And so we were like, what if we could create one software that would cover 3 of those buckets? Lead gen, lead nurture, and conversion. What if we could cover those 3? And so what FlowChat does is so simple, right? Step one, it allows you to go to any social platform. And by the way, we're the only software that I'm aware of that's 100% in compliance with the terms of service, right? Which is a big thing. We actually had one of the compliance officers from Facebook go through our whole system, our whole software. And he said, at first he was like, I'm not touching it with a 50-foot pole. And now he's like, how do I market your stuff? Which is a really great transformation. But you can go to any social platform and you can collect exact targeted people that you're trying to mess or connect with. And then you just move them into the software. Step two is you set up a predefined messaging sequence that you want to send them. And step three, you just send messages. That's what the software tool does. One of its main functions. There's so many behind it, but that's like kind of the core.
Actually, we can actually share a screen, and later on I'll continue with some other questions that I have about you, but would love to just maybe see the software in works. This little maybe because a lot of people are watching and stuff like that. Maybe we can share a screen.
Yeah, sure. If you want to share, can you share my screen? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, we're sitting on the dashboard. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So welcome to FlowChat, everybody. We'll just run through this at a very high level. So first and foremost, just let me share this. Like anybody that buys a new software, the first biggest fear that usually comes up in their mind is like, oh man, what if I get overwhelmed? What do I do? Well, right here, you can see that for every single member we have in our software tool, you have 24/7 support for overwhelm, right? If you ever get stuck, book a call with our team. We'll get you a success director, and they'll make sure to help you out. So that's simple. Right here, the product guide. Everybody wants to know what buttons to click and how to click the buttons. These are all very short videos, 1 to 5 minute long. You can just binge watch all of them, and you'll know what all the buttons do in the whole tool. So simple, right? Moving along here, this green box, it says click here to watch the 10-minute fast start. Now, if you've ever bought a software before, and I'll click on it and I'll show you where it goes. If you've ever bought a software before, most softwares take an intense amount of knowledge, application, and trial before you get it up and running. Not FlowChat. Because it's chat, because it's sell by chat, everybody already knows how to chat. We just have to organize what we're doing a little bit differently. You can actually get this thing up and running in 10 minutes or less. Very simple. Click along step by step and get it done.
And that's what caught my attention right away too, is because sometimes to learn, because I run paid advertising, I taught my clients how to pay. That takes sometimes months. Here, like literally within minutes, you can see it started. That was amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so here is what happened in our account today, 657 leads. I'm going to zoom in. This was yesterday, 158, day before 382, day before that. Look at that, almost 1,000 new eyeballs looking at this tool. 789, 885, 657. So my question to you is, what system do you have right now that's putting that many eyeballs on your product or service? If you don't have one that's very inexpensive, that actually gets the job done, FlowChat could become a great, great tool. And here's the great news. It was designed so simple that anybody can do it, and it doesn't take a lot of time. So if you have a task, you can leave yourself tasks as a reminders here. Or if you have a virtual assistant or a team member that can run this for you, you can leave them a task. Very simple. First thing, one of the most important features I'm going to point to, well, I said it does 3 things. We can import people from anywhere on social. So if I click up here, which says import, you can see now all the different platforms. This is one of the only softwares that works on all of these platforms, right? Some of the other ones are specialized. We're not. Why? Because we always talk about this conversation domination, where you're multi-channel, omnipresent. You've heard those terms before. This tool allows you to do that from one place, which is powerful. So for Facebook example, let's say you have been messaging some people. You're selling by chat already, but you don't have quite the great system yet. One click, we can collect all those messages with people, move them into this tool, and then we can set them up into what we call a pipeline and fire messaging. So no one slips through the cracks and it wins. Next one, likes. So you're posting on social. Great. On your posts, people are going to thumbs up, heart, or even smiley face. What if you could click one button and collect all those people that have engaged with you through a like button and move them into a place where you can have one-on-one conversations with them? So powerful. Your friends list. Maybe your friends list is a good target for you. We can move all those people into this tool in an instant and start conversations. How about this one? This will change the game for anybody. Facebook groups. You're probably a part of 1 million of them. And in fact, those groups probably have your exact client avatar in there. What if you could go to that group, click a button, collect all the members out of any group, paid, public, private, doesn't matter. As long as you're a member of the group, we can collect all those members, put them in the tool. Boom. Or how about this one? you're getting tons of comments on your recent Facebook ad. What if you could go to your recent Facebook ad and collect all the people who commented on your ad and move them into the tool? Or how about this? What if it's somebody else's ad? You can click on their ad and click on capture all the comments that were done on their post. Yeah, FlowChat allows you to do that. Same thing with Instagram. Any messages you've ever sent, any likes on any post on Instagram, or any followers list. Imagine all the followers lists on Instagram. Say you're selling mindset. You could go to Tony Robbins, click on his followers list. Now we have millions of people that we can actually connect with and sell our products because they're interested in mindset. Very simple. LinkedIn the same way, works even with the search feature. The search feature down here, which is cool as you can see, works with Twitter, works with Telegram, works with Discord. Here's cool. The reason why we have these two in here, very, very important. Crypto, big thing right now. We can all talk about crypto, but none of the social platforms even accept crypto. You can't advertise about it. You can't do anything. Same with network marketing. They hate network marketing. FlowChat doesn't. FlowChat loves both markets, right? You can actually now market crypto or even your network marketing using the FlowChat tool. Before I go further, Rafal, I'm just going to ask, is there any questions on that? Does that make sense?
Oh, this is good. I mean, there's so many opportunities here. Like I've been using this for 6 months and it transformed my business altogether. And for all of you guys, you get to have actually a chance. So let's just continue listening to this because there's so much information that you get to find out about this. But at the end, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to actually go in, check out and book a private demo that you can actually have, see if it's designed for you. You can use the link below, onlineguide.flowchat.software. There's a quick questions on there. You can rewatch a video as well if you wanted to. And inside, basically, we can provide you a link where you can book a call with one of the FlowChat specialists, and they can literally just show you and then ask you questions like, what can you use it for? I mean, the crypto, what you're talking about, I have so many friends that are getting shut down. They can't comment. They can't even post anything about it because it gets blocked off. With this, it's a game changer. So yeah, let's continue on.
For sure. So many applications, right? Okay, so now you're like, Sean, what do I do when I have all these people? How do I connect with them? That's the beauty of what we call pipelines. So I'm going to click on a pipeline view here, and don't get overwhelmed. This is very easy. There's a couple of things I'm going to share with you. First and foremost, what does this pipeline do? What does a pipeline do? A pipeline can do just about anything. In this particular one, I'm doing outreach to people I've never met. I'm inviting them into my Facebook group. Now, you don't have to have a Facebook group. In fact, it's probably not even necessary, but we like to market into a Facebook group first. And then we're going to actually invite them into a private demo, and then we'll show them our software. So we use FlowChat to sell FlowChat. You don't have to have Facebook group. And again, if I open the pipeline view here, you can see, if I scroll down, check all this out. You can use Facebook here. This is just booking a call. Outreach, relationship, invite to calendar, make a deal. This one's if you have a webinar. Let's get eyeballs to a webinar. A pipeline can do that. What about, this is like the one I'm about to show you, so I'll walk through that one. Getting people to join your summit or your challenge or your event, live event, right? Works well there. Instagram, same thing. We got a couple of Instagram flows, a couple of LinkedIn flows, same thing. What about if you have a podcast, if you're trying to get amazing people to be on your show, or maybe you want to make an appearance on someone else's show, you could use a pipeline for that. What about YouTube? You want to grow a channel? We already got that covered. So again, we have templates that are already working that we've made tons of money with that we deploy to our members, which is cool. So you already have what you need to say, but let me show you how to say what you need to say. This is how it works. So we would import somebody from one of these places that I just walked through, and we would drop them into what we call the stage or a column here, lead in. So the lead in is now here. You can see there's 6,000 opportunities right here. Very simple. Each one of these stages has a specific message stored with it. And as I move, as I move here from left to right, you can see that there's a lot of stages. Here's a couple of statistics. Write these down. So important. 60% of engagement with new people comes after the fourth touch point. 80% of your sales will come after the 13th touch point. So what I'm telling you is if you don't have, and that's statistical fact, we cannot argue that. This is proven track record. If you don't have 13 touch points in a methodology of outreach, you're losing 80% of your sales. Crazy number, but it's truth, right? And so what we do here, you can see there's way more than 13. Here's how it actually works. I would start with somebody in the lead in, and I click on Facebook, and wham, I'm now in Facebook looking at Anika's page. She's a marketing specialist. This is a perfect fit for what we do. So I would just click add friend. Very simple. Come back over here. I've added friend. And now, like Trello, it's just drag and drop. You can see this one says Sean friend request. I'm Sean, so I'm going to drop it there. Boom. So now Anika's here, and we use card colors because you can see there's Chris, there's Sean, and there's Bruno. So I would just identify this one by green because that's Sean's color. I have one virtual assistant running green cards. I have one virtual assistant running pink, and I have one virtual assistant running yellow. This way we can sort them out. We can look at reporting. We know who's done what and how it works. But now I've sent my friend request to Annika. What do I want to do next? Like I said, outreach, invite to a group. So that's what I'm going to do next. You can see invite to group here. So when I click this button, that's the magic button. Okay. 2 things happen. Number 1, I'm into this person's inbox messenger. And number 2, the message from that particular stage or column is copied to my clipboard. So all I do is I right click here and I paste, and you can see Annika, the team sent you my profile, and I would just hit send. Boom. Just like that. Done. Now I go back over here and you can see drag and drop. Right. And then I'll just do a quick scroll down, come back up. Here's Anika again. You can see she's at the top. And then I'm going to wait 2 days, right? Think of this as a one-way street. 48 hours from now, I want to see if she responded. So again, I would just, and that's why we have these dates here, right? You can click, you can change the dates and due dates and everything else. You can set them up very easy. And then I would just 48 hours later, click that button again. 2 things will happen. She either says, Sean, I would love to join your tribe, or she says nothing, typically, right? And if she says nothing, then it's just a very simple default copy paste. Boom, just jumping this to the top of your messenger. I know how crazy it can get, right? And then we would just click and drag and drop right over there like that. I'm not going to do that, but my team knows automatically now how to pick that up and move forward. Rafal, before I go any further, is there any questions that you have so far?
No, this is great. One of the features, like just having everything in one area. Like I used to have leads and running ads, and it was in Messenger, everything. I don't, like for the last 6 months, like literally I can have everything in here, and I have conversation that I had 2 years ago that I can actually, that I went back and I'm like, oh my God, I missed it. Here, you never miss anything. Amazing. Like this is like one of my best features here.
Yeah, for sure. And as I mentioned, this is for Facebook, as you saw me clicking around there. But if I went down and I clicked on like this particular pipeline. So by the way, the one I just showed you, when we started with this tool, we had no list, we had no groups, we had nothing. We did $100,000 in profit in our first 6 weeks. It actually took us 41 days. Okay. 100 grand in 41 days. And then we hired 2 virtual assistants. And those 2 virtual assistants have helped us now over the past 5 months to create $500,000 in revenue. Insane with one pipeline. We have a lot of them running. Okay. So here, this one's a LinkedIn profile. It's almost exactly the same. Again, David, right? And you can use colors for different things. In this case, I'm testing crypto. So I've got 40 leads that are purple. They're all crypto people. I know I can visually see crypto, right? So if you want to test different markets, you can do it that way too. So I could click here in this LinkedIn. Now I'm going to LinkedIn. I'm not on Facebook. And I could check and double see. You can see NFT, IPO, blockchain. He's a crypto guy. That's perfect. And then I would actually send my first message. So I could just click here and I could hit connect and I could hit message. And then I could click here, connect. I could click connect, and then I can add a note, and then I can just right click and paste my first message. Hey, David, came across your profile, want to connect. Have you heard about it? Boom. Just like that. I've sent him a message. I go back over here, and then it's just drag and drop. Boom, just like that. So that's how fast it can work. And here's the cool part about all this. So now there's the same thing here. I click the messenger bubble. So once they accept, your connection, the messenger bubble appears. And now here I am in John's. I can see that I haven't connected with him. So I click connect again. And then I would just right click and paste. And I would hit send. Just like that. Very simple. And I come back and I drag and drop John to the next one. And then I go back to Jordan. And you can see how fast this starts to go for you and your business and practically crush it. Paste just like that. Hey, Jordan, send. Reconnect there. Now I'll go back. I'll even do a third one. So drag and drop, boom, just like that. One more, Jordan here. Click on this one. And you can see this is all on LinkedIn. This is crazy. So I'm working on Facebook and LinkedIn at the same time. And then again, just right click and paste. Here you go. Bam. connection, and then I go back and I would drag and drop. And that, my friends, is how FlowChat works in a hurry to grow your business at light speed. Rafal.
Incredible. You know what it is? It's like LinkedIn, everything else set up, and by clicking and dragging and having it organized. But what I love, like as we speak on my laptop, I mean, like I can show you guys really quickly. I have a laptop here. My VA is actually working. My VA is actually working on my flow and messaging, and it looks like it's coming from me. Obviously, as a business owner, you want to be able to scale up. You want to be able to have time to do the things that you're passionate about. And if you can have this set up here, I mean, that's incredible. So guys, if you guys want to just check it out, all you got to do is there's a quick question. There's a video you can rewatch again. There's a couple questions, and in there's going to be a button. Just go to onlineguide.flowchat.software.
Yeah. So guys, what we want you to look, we're all about suitability, right? We want to make sure that this is a fit. And there's like the call that Rafal was talking about. It's such a non-obligation call. It's just come and see if FlowChat is the right use for your business. There's 3 things that we'll cover on the call. It's very simple. Number 1, does this solve a problem for you? Because if it doesn't, there's no reason to keep talking. Number 2, how and where would we deploy this in your business to win with you, right? That's the second question we'd cover. And the last one, very simple. What does success look like? And if we can come to a great answer on all 3 of those questions, and you feel like this is deadly the right fit for you, guess what? We're going to go to the moon in 2022, because I know this tool will serve if it solves a problem for you. And that's really it. It's very simple.
Yeah, no, sorry guys. I was putting it up in there. FlowChat. I just put it in really quickly. But biggest thing is just, it doesn't cost you nothing. You hop on, check it out. If it's for you, great. If it's not, there's so much, that you can either do. But running ads and different things, there's possibilities with this. When I saw this first time, I didn't even see. I just saw the import feature, and I'm like, what can you do? And it's not connected to Facebook, anything else, because I use other softwares and I got shut down. Facebook, going Facebook jail, kinds of different things, because it's like automated. This is not automated, but you can scale it up with different VAs and stuff. So anyways, thank you for this demo then. And I just want to finish off because I know you're a busy guy, but I want to ask you a couple more questions at the end.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
First of all, I know you probably have a lot of influence, people that influence you in business, in life. Who had the biggest impact for yourself? When you started out and getting into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so my dad, clearly beyond anyone else. My mom, secondly, and now my wife, actually third. But I think that priorities has shifted around. But really, I think I would say the most influence and the longest lasting impression was my dad. I just saw him working his ass off when he was a little kid, and it ingrained work culture in me, and I wasn't afraid to do hard work to go get it done. And now with FlowChat, that hard work just becomes smart work. And that's really the true secret to winning, is like work smart, not hard. That is a thing. I was on the wrong side of that equation for a long time. But once you figure that part out, that becomes very, very simple for you to just really, truly master things, for sure.
That's amazing. Yeah, my dad, he's my rock as well. He taught me so many different things, but the same thing. He's European, came from Poland, came to Canada, and work hard. So just recently he was able to retire, and then, there's so many different things you can accomplish. So did you always wanted to be an entrepreneur?
No, I actually wanted to be a professional athlete. I got drafted out of college to play baseball. I was a D1 baseball player in college, and I got drafted by the Padres, the Mets, and the Rangers. Oh, wow. I decided to stay as a college student, and then unfortunately the politicking kicked me. I actually quit off the team for the politicking reasons. I'm sure if you've ever been in that space, you know what I'm talking about. But ended up leaving college, started my selling career, and I still had desire and dream to be a pro athlete. I picked up a golf club. Now, I wasn't good at golf, but I was really good at hitting it super far. And so actually what I did is I ran into a buddy of mine who was the number 2 in the world for long drive golf at the time. And I went down and he asked me, because he went to high school with me, he's like, "Are you still hitting golf balls?" I was like, "Yeah." So we went and we started hitting, and his coach happened to be there, and I was out hitting him. And so his coach says to me, "Sean, take these clubs, go practice for 2 weeks and come back and compete in this tournament." And it sparked my thing, like, can I become a pro at this? And I went back and I practiced and I came back and I won the tournament. And next thing, dude, insane. And then I was like, whoa. So I went down for 5 years after that. I became one of the best long drivers on the planet. And I was number 8 in the world for 2 years. I've been on ESPN and some other things. And that filled the bucket of being a pro athlete for me. And then I was like, what's next? the only thing I could be with an entrepreneur. Yes.
Oh man, I see. I've known you for years, and I never heard that part of it. So that's incredible. And I think it's we all go through a journey, and it makes you who you are and stuff like that. So, my last question, and thank you again for being here and showing us all of this, is if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
A loving husband and one of the best communicators on the planet.
Awesome.
That's it.
That's amazing. Sean, thank you so much, guys. Again, this is Feed Your Mind podcast. Basically, we want to teach you and feed you with information. And if you guys got some information, make sure you comment below. Make sure you share this with everyone. I'm going to post this inside there. Sean, appreciate you more than you know. And you're going to be changing so many lives. And this software alone, what you just guys launched with Chris and Bruno, it's like a game changer for a lot of people. And we're already seeing so many other people, including myself, using it. And it just transformed it. So again, guys, if you guys want to check it out, just go through online guide, FlowChat.software.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and I'm very confident that you're probably leaving about $20K a month in revenue on the table if you're not using FlowChat. That's a very conservative estimate because, like, for example, we've had some humongous players come through, like the Ted McGrath Brands organization. He's like Tony Robbins level speaker. He's been running Facebook ads for the last 7 years, spending $300,000 a month on ads. That's the kind of volume that he's at. He saw FlowChat and he said, absolutely, I'm all in, let's go. So we have some huge hitters like that. We've got some other massive YouTube players. We got just, there's people from all over are actually like just flooding into this tool now. And it's really cool to see. And so if you are an agency owner, a consultant, a sales professional, if you're a coach specifically, it works amazing for coaches. Like the whole gamut. We definitely, if it's a fit, all you got to do is have a call with us. No obligation. Come see if it's the right fit for you. And onlineguide.flowchat.software. I can't wait to see you there.
Awesome, guys. We'll see you guys on the other side. And again, thank you guys for checking out the Feed Your Mind podcast. And you're going to definitely see way more of me in here. So thank you guys. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye for now. Thank you again.